Coogan Cassius IFL TV here at the Old Inn in Kensington in association with MGM Marbella. With me I've got promoter Mick Hennessy. How are you, Mick, first?
Good, Coogan. Very good, yeah.
So was your head in your hands every time a swear word came out of Tyson's mouth tonight?
Not so much that, it's just, you know, whether it was going to kick off or not really, because it is fight time, isn't it? They're both volatile characters and you're not guaranteed on what you're going to get. So, you know, that's why Tyson's the draw he is. He doesn't work to no agenda or no script. He's not being controlled about what he should and shouldn't say. He's just himself, and whatever comes out, comes out. And that's why people find him so entertaining. That's why he's a big draw in his box office.
It's a huge fight this in Manchester on the 26th. Have they been put together in too many situations since the fight was announced? Because they've been on, you know, in this sort of situation about 4 or 5 times now. And is that a bit too much, Mick, in your opinion? I know they've got to sell the fight, but these are two volatile characters at the end of the day.
It is a big fight, and if you look at the super fights in the US, you know, they do tours, don't they? So no, not really. I mean, this is to be expected, but it's just, you know, it's not often you get two volatile characters like them that we all know their history. They're capable of anything. So, you know, although there's a lot on the line and there's big money and there's a Vladimir Klitschko fight, you catch either one of them on the wrong day, and that could all go up in smoke. So that's my main concern.
Tyson's absolutely convinced if he comes through the Derek Chisora fight that there won't be a Klitschko fight. He will not fight him. Is that the way you see it as well?
I don't think either Klitschko wants to fight Tyson. I agree with him. I really do. I think that they've never even talked about a fight. They've never even been interested in discussing money, which is crazy to me. It's the biggest fight out there for them. So this is our last chance to see if we can corner them, snooker them, as they say, and into taking this fight. If that don't work, then they really don't want the fight.
Obviously, there's been ongoing social media words between Tyson and Deontay Wilder for a long time now.
Yeah.
It's a fight he clearly fancies as well, and sounds like Deontay Wilder is open to that fight as well. Have you spoke to their people about it, Mick?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, fair play to both fighters. I mean, Deontay came up to a Sheffield show, and he was standing in the background, and Tyson came over to me and said, you know, Mick, he's here, get us both in the ring. And we did. And, you know, they was brilliant in front of the crowd. They both spoke well. And you could see two modern-day giants, two unbeaten heavyweights, both similar size, 6'8", 6'9". They looked brilliant together. You could see that it's a fight that would be, you know, it would transcend boxing beyond. And, you know, both good communicators, both can talk, both can punch. You know, both got a lot to say. So, yeah, the first time we spoke really about the fight was when David Haye fell through. Because for me, the only fight that I could see that could hold that date together, you know, let's not forget we had a packed out Phones For You arena. It was on box office at the time, and the only fight I could see that could take over from that fight was Tyson versus Deontay. And I rang up both Peter and Tyson, and I said, this is the only fight I think that can salvage it. In fact, for me, it was a better fight than David Haye, a much better fight, because you got an unbeaten heavyweight and you got someone who's as big as Tyson, a modern day heavyweight with the best record in boxing. So both of them, without hesitation, said, brilliant, love to, let's get it on. So of course I then, you know, we had a packed out arena. I then went and spoke to box office, to the Sky team, and said, look, you know, this is the fight. No, sorry. Before that, I actually spoke to Richard Schaefer, and he told me at the time when he was at Golden Boy, he told me that if they could be, you know, partners on the event, that they would do the fight, and Deontay was up for doing the fight, because as you know, he'd been in training camp with David Haye, so he was prepared. So that was it really. With, you know, both sides wanted the fight, box office didn't.
With this situation, like I said, after the 26th, obviously when it's clear who the winner is, then you can really push and start looking. Tyson will be in a good position if he wins, and likewise with Derek. So you can, if it is Tyson, you can really start looking at his options then after the fight, can't you, Mick?
After the fight, definitely. Yeah. I mean, this is, you know, it's a big fight. It kind of corners Vladimir. We're going to really find out whether he wants this fight. And but if not, if he doesn't fancy it, like I don't think they do, then there's plenty of other options. There is a Bermane-Stivane, you know, potential fight. There is, you know, what I consider the Deontay Wilder fight. I think it would be incredible. I was told, in fact, that you know, that fight wouldn't sell in the UK because no one knew Deontay Wilder. Well, you know, it's simple. All you had to do was bring him over to a press conference, bring his size, bring his record, bring the way he talks to one press conference, and that would have been bigger than the David Haye fight.
Okay, Mick. You've got a show September 20th.
Yeah.
Kid Galahad.
Kid Galahad, yeah.
Any news of who will be facing?
We're working on opponents at the moment, but you know, we've had obviously a few big names turn it down, so we're working on that now. We need to get him a world-class fighter.
And will that be on September the 20th?
That'll be on September 20th, yeah.
Big fight.
That was the date we offered Scott Quigg. Yeah. And obviously they don't want to know about that fight, so we're moving on.
Okay. How far do you think Galahad is from, you know, getting some sort of eliminator for a world title or something?
Well, he's won British, Commonwealth and European titles now, so yeah. he's getting very close. I would say, you know, maybe a couple of fights from a final eliminator, and then, you know, 3, maybe 4 fights to a world title fight.
Possibly next year at some point.
Yeah, definitely next year. Definitely next year.
All right. Got any other news you want to tell us about, Mick?
Not at the moment, Coogan.
No.
Some things I'm working on in the background, but can't talk about them at the moment, I'm afraid.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, Mick. Thanks for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up with you in Manchester next week.
Nice one.
Thank you very much.